Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode. Today I'm going to be working on my 2008 SV650. We're going to be upgrading the front forks on it. So basically the issues that I'm running into, first the springs were bottoming out on me over bumps, so they're not weighted properly, so I tried to cheat it by putting thicker oil in it. I went too thick on the oil, and now the bike's rock hard and bounces around everywhere. It's not really that safe, so I said, well, I'm probably gonna keep this bike for a while, so let's do it right. Let's put some gold valves in it and upgrade the springs to springs that actually match my weight. All right, let's get into it. Step one, raise the vehicle. This is a damping rod. This is basically the inexpensive way of controlling the shock of the road without using any thing that's really mechanical, like a valve. Basically it controls the compression and the rebound just by the fluid having to go through these holes that are drilled in the end here. So basically the only way to adjust your compression and rebound is by adjusting the weight of oil that you use. So basically what we're going to do now is we're going to drill these out bigger so that they're rendered ineffective, and then the gold valve is basically going to do all the control. Alright, so here we are at the drill press. They want to have 6 holes in total. Right now there's 4. And they want them to be 5/16 of an inch in diameter. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a drill bit into that hole that fits. We're going to chuck it up. This is just to set the drill, not to tighten that. Alright, so now you can see that that's set up. Can snug that up, put in the appropriate drill bit. Alright, so there you go. Now there's 6 holes in each. Basically you want to space the holes out about 10 millimeters. You don't want them too close, otherwise it'll make the damping rods weaker. So that's kind of the whole point in spacing them out. Alright, yeah, they're just deburred on the belt sander, and then blast them out with some brake clean, get all the metal filings out. You don't want those going through your valves and messing things up. Cool. So here we have the gold valve emulator. So basically, you're going to put your information in on the website for race tech, and it's going to give you an adjustment. And the adjustment that it gives me is 1.5 turns preload. So basically, just going to look at this like this, and we're going to go 1.5, and then we're going to tighten this nut here. That's it. Alright, so now we're going to head back to the bike and we're going to reinstall our damping rods, which are now rendered useless. So now that they're rendered useless, all the work is going to be done by our gold valves here. So one of the things I'm doing different from the instructions say that they need 4 holes in the compression disc. There's only 3 from factory. And I mean, once you drill a hole, you can't go back. So I'm going to try it with 3 first and see if the compression is too much. And then if it's too much, then I'll drill out another hole. Another thing that people were mentioning on the forums was that the 20 weight oil that's recommended is too heavy. So I'm going to try the 15 weight off the bat. I can always go heavier. We're going to drop in a gold valve. And then I have upgraded springs. So these springs are shorter than the stock one, so there's going to be some adjustment. They're shorter and they're stiffer spring, more suited to my weight. Okay, so we got the damping rods in and the bolts are tight at the bottom there. The next thing we got to do is we got to set the preload on the spring, and that's not the preload. It's not the same thing as the sag. It's the actual physical preload on the spring as you're putting it together. So in order to do that, you got to look at what Race Tech says on their website once you input all the numbers. And what it's giving me is 15 millimeters of preload. So basically, to figure that out, you're going to take your cap here, you're going to measure that. So there I got 35 millimeters. So then you're going to measure from your spring to the top. 145 millimeters, all right? So 145 millimeters minus 35 millimeters gives you 110 millimeters, and you need the 15 millimeters of preload, so you add that on. 125 millimeters is what you're going to have to set that spring to. So how do you do that? Well, Race Tech provides a piece of tubing. So you're going to cut that piece of tubing to 125 millimeters for each side, and then that should give you your 15 millimeters of preload. Way of seeing if you got this right: cut this to the length, drop it in like that, set your cap on, make sure it's not binding anywhere, it's just resting. Take your tape measure, there you go, 15 millimeter. Hang on, this manual says put half a liter in each fork, so here we go, bottoms up. Very last step, you're going to want to set up your sag. So to set up your sag, you want to unload the front end, get all the weight off of it. You're going to want to measure. So I got 120 millimeters unloaded, all right? So now I'm going to put all the way back on the bike, and I'm going to sit on it and see what I got. Alright, so there I have 85 millimeters. So 120 minus 85, 10, 20, 30, 35 millimeters of sag. It's exactly what I need. So I don't have to make any adjustments to the top caps here. It's bang on right out of the gate. Well, we've come to the end of the video here. I can really tell that I've got the result that I wanted. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned. I'm hopefully going to be upgrading the rear suspension on this with the ZX10R rear shock, so stick around, subscribe, like the video. Thank you.